Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an incredible new edition or new installation of CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live right now from our showroom there in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder. You might think he's Tarzan, but instead, it's Zach Killingsworth. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Oh my goodness! So today is, I think, a first for our production. So if I can say, I can say this. Doesn't matter. We are live right now on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. I have 7 chats to keep track of. So I love you all, but for the love of God, I'll get to your questions as soon as possible. But right now, we've got a really fun show, and let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. We've got a buddy named Billy in Arkansas. I call it AR Kansas, but apparently I've been corrected today. So, gentlemen, tell me what we are doing for Billy in Automatic Rifle, Kansas.
All right, so Billy has configured one of our RAWs off our website. So starting out, we've got the Intel Core i9-14900K for our processor. To cool that, nice. We've got the Corsair H150i Elite 360 AIO. For our motherboard, we've got the Asus Strix Z790-E gaming Wi-Fi. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Corsair Vengeance. They're 16 gigabyte DDR5 6000 speed and black RGB. So a total of 32 gigs there. For our storage, we've got a Samsung 1 terabyte 990 Pro NVMe drive. Our case is obviously the O11 XL black. And we've got 10 Leon Lee Uni fans. We talked a little bit about these last show. It's been a while since we used them, so I'm glad we're getting some of those out. For our video card, we've also got an Asus ROG Strix 4080. And for our power supply, we've got an EVGA 1000 watt G5 80 plus gold, and we've got a cable mod custom sleeve cable kit to go with that.
You know how much I love them custom cable sleeves.
Oh yeah.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget, as we start unpacking all the joy and the love for this case, if you have questions about your PC, anybody else's PC, a PC problem that you had in 1995, or something current and relevant, please feel free to throw this in the chat, because we will do our best to answer them, unless it's for a computer that's before either of these guys were born, and then it's going to be a little harder. Triggered Media, what's up? Hello over on the TikToks. Uber Noob, what up, Uber Noob? How you doing? How you loving your stuff, my dude? How you loving your stuff? Triggered's like, I didn't win the giveaway. I'm sad. You know what? That's okay, because there's more coming. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. We got stuff. Chastel over on the Twitter side. DJ, how did you like when fire was discovered? I'm going to be honest. It was a real hit or miss situation, but I honestly, it was basically the guy next to me tripped with a rock. I'm pretty sure it was going to kill the person across from the wood, and it slipped, it hit, it struck, it started firing. We went, ooh. Well, you're kind of violent, but you're smart, so we'll just keep you. That's how fire was discovered.
Makes sense to me.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, up first, let's talk about our motherboard. This is a really cool one. I always love this motherboard. This is a ROG Strix Z790E gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. We've seen these before, and there are a lot of elements to be pulling off of these, including the tags. Notice the button that Zach is pushing. That is what we call the button. That is a great way to eject, or easily eject the graphics card. We'll talk about that in a second. But first up, let's take a look at that I/O shield real fast and show you a little bit what's going on here. First of all, this is an advanced board when it doesn't have any USB 2 on it anywhere to be discovered. It's got headers, but that's it. Starting at the top, we've got our HDMI and our DVI port, and so long as you have a processor that's got the graphics chip on it. Down below there on the left-hand side, you've got our CMOS and our flash, so that you can flash your BIOS, do all that really easily without having to get into the board and switch pins. Below there, we have 4 different USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. Those are all Type A's. We also have 7 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports. 6 of them are Type A's, 1's a Type C. And then, of course, we've got the giant Type C port, which is a 3.2 Gen 2 by 2. Now, that means it's got 20 gigs of data flow up and down, which is kind of amazing. A 2.5 gig Ethernet port, 5 gold-plated audio jacks, your optical SPDIF out port, and what's amazing is because this all comes with Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. There we go. Bittersweet over here with the sub love. I know we got some questions coming in. I'm trying to keep track of everything going on. All right. So next up, let's take a look at what we're going to be shoving in this to master it all. Look at the giant disc he has in his hand. And this, of course, is our Intel Core i9-14900K processor. Now, this is a K processor and not a KF. Paul, what does that mean?
So that means this processor has onboard video. So if you're running a whole bunch of monitors and you don't have enough ports on your video card, you can use the video outputs on that motherboard I/O that you guys just went over to get video.
So we do have some questions coming in off the chats, which is great. You know how much I love this part of the show. Starting at the beginning. First one up is going to be Aman and you know what? I'm going to just call you Aman and leave it at that. Aman says, hello, guys. I was wondering if a water-cooled is very hard to maintain. Good question, Paul.
Yeah, so when you're going with these AIOs that we're using and we're about to install here in a bit, these are very easy to install, and there's really no maintenance that goes along with them. They come with the fluid, and you don't have to ever worry about adding more. But if you go with an open-loop system, those do require some maintenance. Typically checking your fluids every year, maybe adding some stuff like that.
There we go. Also, apparently, we're also live on Instagram, whose chat I do not have up at the moment. Instagram people, give me a second. We'll figure it out. Okay, well, maybe not. Now, yeah, closed loop's easy. Open loop is going to require a little more, you know, conscious efforts and things. Ninja Wolfie thing over on the green side says the 4080 has 16 gigs of VRAM versus the 4090 has 24 gigs of VRAM. How big of a difference does this make currently, as well as when we are looking at future proofing?
Yeah, so both cards have that is a ton of VRAM to have on your card. So both are going to perform well right now. Obviously, the 4090 is going to perform a little better. It's got a better chip and that more memory. Kind of depends on what game you're playing. So if you're playing one that requires a lot of VRAM, that's when that extra VRAM comes into play. If you're playing a game that doesn't require a lot, then both are going to, do well.
Now, the one thing we'll see the guys prepping right now is, of course, our AIO. And for that, and that's our all-in-one cooling system. We've seen a lot of these lately. Actually, this has kind of been a hardcore selling point as of recent. It is the Corsair iQ H150i Elite. Paul, what is so cool about this AIO? Also, how do these work?
So this is a pretty standard AIO, kind of like most. They're all very similar, but what this one has that some don't, it's LCD screen. So default, this is going to show your CPU temps, which is pretty cool that you can do that, but you can program it to do all sorts of different things.
Nice. Let's see here. Over on the Facebook gaming side, Raul Padilla Rodriguez. Bienvenido or benvido or hello. Either way. I'm saving money so I can get a computer with 120 plus FPS so I can play Overwatch 2 like a god. Do you have any recommendations for a first-time buyer? I'm going to be honest. That's a great question, but I think, Paul, I think what's important here is what do you need in order to achieve 120 FPS with your rig?
So right now with most games, the current hardware that's out, you can get 120 FPS pretty much in most games with a solid mid-tier build. Now if you're going with 1080, it's going to be very easy to get that frames. Once you get up to that 2K and 4K, that's when you want to look at getting a more higher end hardware for that.
Big shout out over to Koti or Kotai over on the TikToks. Overwatch doesn't take much. That's true. Now, if you do have other games that you're playing, it can be a little bit more intensive. But that's how you're going to figure it out. Now, the one thing that we love to figure out is our RAM. Now, of course, RAM is random access memory, or no, ridiculous access memory. Paul, what's RAM stand for?
Yeah, random access memory.
Dang it, I was right. I was hoping I was just being wrong. There we go. We got two 16 gig sticks of Corsair DDR5 6000. This is the fastest RAM that we have presently. I guarantee you it's not going to be the fastest RAM that's going to be developed in the years to come. This is a total of 32 gigs. Now, Paul, when it comes to, say, wanting to achieve a higher FPS, how important is RAM in that process?
So RAM is pretty important in that. Your video card's obviously going to be the most important, but you know, RAM used to equal speed. Nowadays with RAM being in such large capacities, I mean 16 gigs can pretty much run everything without using that full amount depending on the game you're playing. You know, you still benefit from going to 32 or anything more than 16, but 16 is pretty much plenty to run everything today.
Absolutely. There we are. All right, and then of course up next. Now, one thing that's really cool is that you just saw Zach do is he pulled off the piece of the heat spreader. So what this is for is for us to install our operating system drive. Now, the operating system drive is a 1 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro NVMe M.2. Now, those of you who've been around the show for a while, you know what those are. But for those who might not have, Paul, what's an M.2 and why are these really important when it comes to operating system functionality and performance as well as game performance?
Yeah, so an M.2 is this little stick right here. Now it's got a full terabyte on there. We typically refer to them like, you know, compare it to like a stick of gum. And these are incredibly fast. They use NVMe for the transfer protocol and they're just insanely fast. So you pretty much always want your OS loaded on that. If you've got one of those in your system, it'll make your boot up times very fast. But then also, if you put games on there, those games are going to load really fast, reduce your load times by a significant amount. So they're just all around really great drives, and they've come down a lot in price over the years. So it's a really good way to get in with great performance.
Kota asks a good question. Requirements for GTV Game Plus, or I'm assuming it's, are you talking about GTV or GTA? Game Plus live stream full quality. You know, that's going to be, are you streaming and gaming from the same machine? That was my first question. And while we get to that, yes. So for wanting to game and stream from the same machine, Paul, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so if you're wanting to game and stream...
GTA 5, sorry.
Yeah, GTA 5. So that's a little bit more of an intensive game. It's obviously, you know, the hardware's improved a lot since that game came out. But if you're going to stream with that, I'd recommend going with like i7, Ryzen 7, something like that, or higher, with probably a 4070 or greater. And if you can get a 4080, that's probably what I would start out with. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you got a good internet connection for your streaming. Upload speed's important there.
And from somebody who runs a dual PC system for my streams, you're going to need at least a minimum of 12, if not higher, for your upload speed. That's the real key thing right there. We have some more questions coming in. Let's jump over here real fast while the guys are getting that AIO set up right there. Over on the green side, we've got Ninja Wolfie Thing. He says, I'm new to PC. Excuse me. I'm new to PC building, and every time I install something such as RAM or a graphics card, I always have to push pretty hard and feel like I'm going to break something. Are these rigs really that fragile, or am I just overthinking it? Ninja Wolfie think we're on the same page, but boys, go for it.
Yeah, so being new to it, it can kind of be a little bit surprising how durable these components are. That being said, you obviously don't want to like bend them or stress test or anything like that, but the computer components are a lot more durable than you would assume. So sometimes that RAM can be kind of hard to get in, but it shouldn't take a ton of force. With DDR5, that center slot is your key on there, and it's not directly in the center, but it's pretty close, so it's kind of hard to eyeball. So I always just hold the memory up to the motherboard kind of sideways and line up with that slot. That way I can make sure I'm putting it in correctly, because I've definitely tried to install sticks backwards before.
And I'm right there with you, Ninja Wolf thingy. Like I was always afraid, like, oh my god, am I going to shove this through the board and destroy everything? That's terrible. Now, I'll tell you what doesn't shove through the board is these incredible fans, which, as you notice, Zach just picked them up in 3 different racks. Paul, let's talk about these fans. These are some of our favorite fans to work with. These are actually Leon Lee SL120s. Paul, take it away.
Yeah, so these are awesome. We love these fans. There's a couple other brands that do them. We love those as well. But what's great about these, you can connect them all in one piece. You can see I got 3 fans right here. They just slide together. You guys saw Zach install it. And then they come with these cables, and this cable is going to hook onto one of these fans, and it's going to pass power through all 3. And that way we just have one cable for each little chunk of fans. So we've got 3 sets of 3 here, and then 1 for our rear exhaust. So for 10 fans, we're only going to have 4 cables, which is really awesome.
Jumping back over to the TikTok side real fast. I know Dylan wants to know how to better build a PC. Well, that's what you're going to learn right here.
Okay.
Kotai, or Cody. I'm going to just call you Cody. Let's go with that. How much to build that PC? The one that we're building right now runs about $5,000. But if you're talking about the one that you might need to get, what I would suggest is going over to clxgaming.com and start playing around with some of the configurations. You might even want to start with a pre-built and then use that as your baseline and go from there. It's really great. We'll actually go over and cover a lot of the things about the website here in just a little bit. Coming back over to the Twitch side is hold on. Is 600 enough for my... The question is 600 enough for my PC? 600, what are we talking about? Watts for the PSU? Dollars for the actual system?
600 monitors.
Oh, yeah.
600 monitors, that's also an option.
Make some wow bots.
While we're getting a response from you, Amon, to start to bug you again, can you tell me if 64 gigs is good enough for a gaming rig, or should I go with 128?
Oh,
holy crap!
64 is more than enough. It's plenty.
Yeah.
16 is honestly becoming the standard now. You can pretty much play anything on that. If you want to go a little bit above and beyond, you go to 32. But yes, 64 is. I mean, it's good to have, but it's definitely more than what you need.
Yep. Apex Everything over on the red side. What's up? How are you? Welcome in. Okay, so now what we've done is we've gotten our AIO attached to on top of the CPU. We've got our thermal paste on there. Now we're ready to set it in. Now, one thing to take a note from that last perspective and that last view on that far side is you'll note that the IO shield area is not directly on the back of the case. That's because this is a 3/4 build or a 2/3, depending on how you see it. Paul, what does that mean, and how does that affect performance?
Yeah, so what that means, the motherboard sits 3/4 down from the case if you're looking at it like we are, and what that does is leave us a lot of room in the back of the case for extra components. So for this case, we've got our power supply that's going to go in the back and the bottom, and then we've got 2 spaces for 4 extra drives. You can do 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives in those slots. And really what this does is it just gives the case a really good look. Our power supply cables are going to be concealed really well, and then also the heat from those components in the back, they get their own intake from the opposite side of the case and exhaust them out the back, so none of that heat gets inside the main body of the case.
So Cage Proto asked the question about pushbacks. When it comes to, like, do they usually push back your shipment several times? Well, it depends on what goes on in testing. Paul, what happens if something doesn't quite work out in testing? How does that affect your build?
Yeah, so if it doesn't pass our 12-hour burn-in process, then we obviously are going to pretty much start everything over. Now, sometimes there can be a corrupt load that happens and we have to reload, or it could just be some components just being a little funky and we got to troubleshoot what it is and work through that. So.
Yeah, trust me, it is in the best interest of you that happens. So we're excited. We're so excited for you to get the PC, and we're excited to see how it looks in your setup. Optimus Prime, welcome. Good to see you too. Needed Temperance is in the house. Hair God Zach, and can't forget Paul. Yes, Temperance, absolutely true.
Hi.
Uh-oh.
Beep.
Oh, I have to log into Instagram. Oh, my God. Well, that's going to have to happen a different day.
Okay.
All right.
Love that.
Now,
Right there.
Yep, easy peasy.
yep. So while we're at this angle, let's keep the eye on this angle, and Paul, let's discuss, because you've obviously got this huge space behind where the motherboard is. So we've got these two doors up on top, and then a blank space down at the bottom. And that's not a Taylor Swift reference; it's literally a small blank space. So tell us, what do these three things do?
I was going to say that blank space is where you write your name, but yes, that blank space is where the power supply goes, and then where those two doors are, that's where your extra storage bays are at. So you pull those doors out, and there's two trays behind each of those drawers that you can put an extra storage device in.
And then we've got, hey, what up, Des? Desno over on the TikTok side says, bought my PC from you guys and got it within 6 days. You guys are awesome, man. That is great to hear. Congratulations. Super incredible. Roger asks, how much is the average build? And I'm going to be honest, I don't know that that's something that we can really answer.
Yeah, the builds are all over the place. We offer them in a ton of different varieties. You know, you can go as nuts as you can with it, or you can keep it really budget friendly. So, I mean, if you had to pin me down and tell me what an average is, I'd probably say maybe around 1,500, something like that. But it's really all over the place.
Yeah, I think the most expensive piece, because I will go in there and goof off and then just make a new build for fun. And I think the most expensive one that I built was 12 grand. My baseline streaming PC was 800. So, yeah. Yeah, but the key here, and I think the one thing to remember is, and at least in my opinion, is future-proofing. If you can future-proof your PC, you have that much more of a range when it comes to your competitive marketability as technology evolves. Over here on the purple side, just made it past part picking today. 2 days past the date. Okay, yeah. It'll happen, Cage. It'll happen. That's the thing. If you want to have more, if you need more information about that, I would definitely recommend giving a ring over to our customer service, or email, or text, or chat with them. They would definitely have more information than us here on the broadcast side. That's a little bit outside of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, Cage, if you've talked to our support or anything, that's a good way to do that. But if you're also in our Discord, you can shoot me a DM, and I can talk to you a little bit after the show, and we can give you an update as well.
Derek Venable over on Facebook says, is 128 gigs of RAM overkill for just playing games? Paul?
Probably so. I think 32 is plenty. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll throw this out there. I have 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 in my rig. And the only reason I have 64 gigs is because I do music production and all of that from this PC. So for me, that makes sense. But yeah. Also, welcome in everybody from over on the gram. How's it going?
It's on the gram.
On the gram. Let's see if I'm logged in on this PC over here. Oh, I am. Here we go. Are we live? I don't know that we are. And if we are, I'm not sure how to watch it. So we'll figure it out, people. We'll figure it out. It'll happen eventually. Aman says, I've decided to go with CLX for my next PC. I need to know if you guys ship to Canada. Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
And how about Canada? How about duty and tax? And do I have to pay later or just come and purchase? Paul?
So I don't know exactly. So I don't have a for sure answer for you on that, but I believe it comes included when you pay for the PC. Can also depend on, if you're buying directly through us or a third party like Best Buy or something like that. It kind of depends on that. But we do ship a ton direct and a ton through other channels as well to Canada and a few other countries.
And we did have a question coming in from the TikTok side. What's the CPU, GPU, and motherboard on the one that you're building now? And what's this build's price? Roger, I just put a link into the chat over there on the TikTok. Click that and check it out. You'll definitely see what's happening. So I'm getting back to everything. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Monitoring 7 chats at once is...
You got this.
It's your new dream job.
It's a thing. Right? There we go. Good Lord.
Just wait till Uber makes a streaming, and then we'll stream to Uber too.
No, that's not a thing that needs to ever happen, dude.
Then we can get it Uber, and we could build
live in the vehicle. I have a feeling that there are so many logistical issues.
And we're driving to the client's house as we're building it.
Oh, that would be sick. That would be cool.
That's actually kind of amazing. Okay, I'm going to be real honest.
Okay, copyright. That cannot be stolen by anybody.
Miguel MB over on the Twitter side. Hi, welcome in. I bought my PC from you guys. Congratulations. I hope you are absolutely loving it as much as we love making it. Back onto the purple side. I feel like the hardest part of building a PC is plugging in all those cables. Anthony, you are not wrong. Let's see here. I want to jump back up because I did miss a couple of these. So Vanilla, hi, what's up? Asks, is there a difference if you put the AIO's fans vertically compared to the horizontal top placement? So before they answer that, I want you to note, like, mine is vertical. Mine's on the back as opposed to on the top. So, Paul, what is the difference and how much of a difference does it make?
Yeah, so there's not really a difference with that. The main thing being is you want your radiator where those tubes are going in. We want that to be above where the pump is on the motherboard. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. It'll function fine if they're below it. But what that does is allows the air to stay up top. A lot of these AIOs are still going to have just a tiny amount of air in them that's not going to get worked out. So we want that to stay up there and not get into the pump if we can avoid it. If they do, it's not the end of the world. But like I said, you want to avoid it if you can.
Yep. Shout out and hello to Tankus over on, and Vex. What up, Vex? Over on the red side. Says, any idea on the 15th gen release dates? Yes. It is going to be coming up in the future.
Soon to you.
That's about all I got.
Yeah, I don't got any.
Molly Hedges on Facebook. Hiya. Yeah, that's about as much as we know. So let's jump back over here to the purple. Man, we got a lot of questions over here in the purple today.
Nice.
Gifted Spyro. I love Spyro the Dragon. Just built my first PC, and now I love watching people build PCs. It's so relaxing, isn't it? I love it. Resealable toast. You know, I read these gamer tags out loud and then process what they mean in the aftermath, and probably why I end up in so much trouble half the time. Why is a 240 hertz monitor almost $700? Or if could you guys have a monitor that is not as good graphics but really good refresh rate? So I think for starters, just for me, because obviously, I mean, I do this for a living. It depends on 240 hertz is one thing, but I think the bigger question is what's the resolution you're looking to hit? Are you good with just hitting 1080? Because 1080 240 is a lot easier to hit than, say, 144 240 or 2K 240 or 4K 240. Like, you're looking at giant leaps in the amount of pixels that have to be processed at basically light speed to be done. Paul, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I like to prioritize refresh rate. I feel like that's more of an impact than the resolution when you're gaming. So I always go with at least 144 hertz. The monitor I'm using, I've had it for probably 6 or 7 years now. It's a 144 hertz at 2K resolution, and that's been really great for me. I don't think I could go back to anything below that refresh rate, but I could go back to a 1080 resolution on some games, you know, like Classic WoW or something like that, where it doesn't really matter. So I prioritize that refresh rate first, and then if your hardware can run at a higher resolution, then that's always great too.
You love this live? Zaveni, welcome. So glad to have you here. Appreciate it. And I've got a lot of people who are just loving watching this. I'm jazzed too. Back up on the red side, we've got... Oh, what up, J-Car? Hello. CJ Blue PDX, CLX Blue PDX, that's hilarious. On the Facebook side, Derek asks a great question here. I'm trying to decide between a Ryzen 9 7950X3D or an i9 14900K. Would you have any advice? I mostly play Warzone.
Yeah, so both of those are going to perform really great for any game that's current right now. So really, it's up to your preference. That 7950X3D is pretty sweet, and Ryzen has really done well with their current processors in gaming. So I really don't think there's a bad choice there. So if you're partial to one, go with that.
I wish I could find the Instagram live feed. It's just not happening right now. If you're asking questions on Instagram, I apologize. We'll get this all figured out soon.
I'll have these extra cables.
One Gaming Crew says, I got the LG one. Nice, dude.
Off the desk.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's see here. I think I'm... Uh-oh. Dadzilla. Here we go.
What up, Dadzilla? Good to see you.
So, Amon asks, I'm sorry if I'm asking so many questions. First of all, you're not. Second of all, we love questions. Third of all, there's no such thing as a bad question. How do I get my PC built live by you guys on the stream? That, my friend, is an excellent question. Paul?
Yeah, so the best way to do that is just hit us up in Discord. You can tag Ivory or tag one of us, and we can pass along the message. And as long as we've got space on the schedule, we'll do it if we can. A lot of times we have our shows planned out pretty far ahead, so there's no guarantees, unfortunately. But if we can, we will. We've definitely done it before where someone's come in here and be like, hey, I ordered a PC, can I have it built? And we've been able to do it a few times. So we always like doing that. It's always fun to be building the person's PC who's like watching live as we're doing it. So yeah, we like to do it if we can.
We've done that several times. It's been a real blast watching the people able to see it happening. Also, make sure that you let customer service know, hey, I've got this build, because what we don't want to do is delay your build. Mm-hmm. But in the event that if it's something that you really want to see it done live, let them know, and then we can see what possibly might work. But no guarantees. Alrighty. The only stupid question is about sharks. Yes, Chasto, absolutely true. Yeah, we it's an analogy that I love to use. I've used it for ages, and that is everybody who thinks that they have a stupid question. Imagine the guy who's sitting at the at the roundtable meeting coming up with ideas for the next film and went, hey, question. What if we made a movie about sharks in tornadoes? And as dumb of an idea as that sounds, that is a $5 billion franchise. That is the cheesiest, but most hilarious films ever, and it worked. So again, no such thing as stupid questions. So Harv asks a great question: when handling parts like CPUs, RAM sticks, wiring, can or does static discharge happen and short out parts?
Yeah, so it definitely can happen. So if you've got, like, what we're using here is an anti-static mat, so we're just good as long as whatever we're using is sitting on the mat. If you don't have a mat or a strap or anything, we always recommend, if you're building at home, do it in your kitchen or maybe an area of your house where there is a hard surface to stand on, so you're not, conducting through carpet. But also, you can also just ground yourself by touching any part of the metal of the case. So like, if I'm about to pick up something right here, I can just touch this case real quick and then grab it, and I'm good to go. So if you don't have any, anti-static shielding or anything like that, you can just put your hand or your arm on the case before you grab the component, and you'll be good.
Coming back over to our TikTok side, Aaron, you liking it? Good. So glad to have you here. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Triggered Media asks, can you use an old case and just upgrade everything in it? Yeah. Absolutely. We've actually done one of those.
We've used a really old case, like really old.
It was, yeah. And I've seen them done. I've seen some people, like, especially using some of the old compact computers. Remember compact? I think HP bought them ages ago.
I'm not trying to hoard these. I'm fidgeting over here.
Yeah, you're good.
I actually saw one of them with a fully like present day internals, but I mean, the thing looked like it was from 2002.
Yeah, I like doing those
Until you
sleeper
open up the
builds.
inside, you're like,
I had done that.
Right?
We found a really old case in the warehouse. That was like an old, that white that's been faded and looks real weird. Built that. It was like, that was with my like 2080 and really high-end stuff. And I basically made the bottom of the case like a cheese grater to make vents for the AIO. So it's pretty custom.
oh God,
It was cool.
that's hilarious. I'm so Shady. What up, Shady? How are you, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Ask the builder, what's the fastest time building a PC? He is. Oh yeah, no, these guys are quick. So Zach, for a desktop,
Yeah.
just your basic desktop like this, what do you think your fastest time is when you're not, having to answer all these questions?
I average about 45 to an hour of dropping components into the system, getting it all tied up and everything.
Yeah, it's funny when you start like timing yourself, because we've done that here quite a bit just to see where you're at, and you could spend like 10 minutes just taking stuff out of boxes and throwing it away. So
that's why I like to do all of my prepping or getting all of the sausage and bacon cooked before I want to make my casserole.
Dicing up your veggies,
Yep.
all that good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, I need both of you to stop making food references because now I'm hungry.
And I
Dang it.
had a big Subway footlong before the show. It was great. They got buy one, get one right now. It was solid.
You suck so much right now.
Delicious.
So, Ayo Ascend, hello. Hey guys, new here. I recently bought a pre-built PC about 2 months ago and was wondering what would you guys recommend to use to clean the inside?
Yeah, so you can get in there. You can use like a microfiber cloth or something like that if you're wanting to wipe everything down. Just make sure you kind of ground yourself, touch the side of your case before you get in there. Or you can buy a can of that blow off, that dust there. Yep, that's what DJ has. That works great. They also make ones that are like, they're electric blowers, like specifically for computer parts. So we have a few of those that are great. Because that canned air, if you're dusting out your machine a lot, it doesn't last that long. And these ones are just like rechargeable and they're really nice.
Let's jump back over here. First of all, Juan Uribe, nice job. Thank you so much. Harley Pennington, can you post specs of the hardware you're installing? I actually can. I have a link. Ahmed, welcome in. Glad to have you. Control and V. I don't know why I have to talk through it when I do it, but I do. Be right back. Ordering Subway.
I got everybody ordering
So,
Subway. I need a sponsorship.
Violent Echoes like, DJ, I literally just ordered Subway as well. God.
We got one right across the
Here we
street,
go.
so it's pretty easy. I got 2 of them yesterday and just kept one in the fridge. And easy lunch.
That's turkey or meatball. Oh my God! If I go with a meatball sub, I have to do it without cheese. But man, I love me a meatball
Meatball
sub
sub's good.
with onions,
Y'all are gross.
bell peppers.
You don't like the meatball
I love
subs?
pepperoncinis.
But I always get the cold cut combo. Cold cut combo, jalapenos, banana peppers, pickles, mayonnaise, mustard, a little bit of lettuce. Go easy on the lettuce.
Yep. The spicy Italian also. Ooh, really good. Now I hate myself for even talking about it because, good Lord. God dang it. What is the... Oh, my God. So I'm going to back up. I apologize, TikTok. I'm here. I got you. Man, that'll happen real fast. So, can I buy a PC from you? Funny Montre. All you got to do is go to clxgaming.com.
Oh, yeah.
Maddie wants Gouda references. Listen, it's so Gouda. I love me some Gouda cheese.
All about that Fermunda cheese.
Dear Lord. Nick Master Plumber. What up? Or no, North Carolina Master Plumber. There we go. I have the Ryzen 9 5950 16 core and a 64-bit based processor in the B55 board. What is... Oh, I just passed it. Come on, TikTok, get it together. What's the best board for my setup?
So really it depends on what you're wanting to do. If you're doing overclocking, that's when you want to go with a higher end motherboard, or you just want a little bit, more durability, better components. more M.2 slots, all that good stuff. The high-end boards always have that, but you can typically go with the mid-tier board that's going to have plenty of M.2 slots, plenty of extra PCIe slots. So, you know, figure out how many slots on the board you're going to use, figure out how many NVMe drives, if any, that you're going to use, and make sure the board has enough slots. But other than that, if you're not overclocking, which I don't overclock my PC, that's really all I care about and all I'd recommend looking at. So.
Want to give a big shout out to Easy Tune V for the sub. It's almost like you work here.
I'm opening up this video card. Okay. Because this thing's sick.
Let's definitely do that. Everybody's ordering Subway. This is ridiculous. If I want to put something in my PC that CLX does not sell, how about I do that? How do you do that? I think is what you were asking. Yeah. And the good answer, Ivory, contact customer service and support, and they will help walk you through that. Over on the red side, hello, Apex Everything once again. I just bought a custom build from y'all, and so I'm so excited for it to arrive. Awesome customer service, by the way. That is so great to hear. Again, our customer service is second to none. Yeah, second to none. Absolutely incredible. Now, the one thing that's also truly incredible are graphics cards, and we've got ourselves an Asus ROG Strix GeForce RTX 4080. Now, I have a ROG Strix card as well. Mine's the 3090 OC, and it is a wicked card. These things are built like tanks. They're amazing. So, Paul, let's talk about how this feels in your hand. And, wow, that's a thick piece.
Yeah, this is a big card.
That's a big baby.
So, like you said, this is the ROG Strix from Asus. This is the 4080. They also have a 4090 version of this, and you can get it in white. But this is a premium card right here. So, it's got a huge cooler on it. This thing is pretty heavy, so you know the heat dissipation is going to be good. We will definitely be using an anti-sag bracket. And this card just looks great. With this black build, I think this is probably the best looking card you could put in it, honestly. And like I said, if you're going white, they've got a white version as well. This kind of rectangle here at the end has a lot of RGB that will light up, and just really love these cards. We'll start getting all the plastic off of it and show it off a little bit more after that.
There we go. Hello, Killer Clutch, back over on the green side. It says I've got four rigs from CLX saying customer service is next to none. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Everybody else always has a really great experience. So sorry to hear that. And McBass is also, yes, MSA came out with that graphics card. Absolutely. You see that MSI came out with a second expert card. Oh yeah, the 4070 Ti Super. Like, isn't the Ti supposed to already be super?
Okay, I need to lay this down. I can't.
So what exactly is the difference between a 40? Oh wait, it's the 4070 Ti Super Ultimate Supreme. Yes, there we go. That seems like a better name for it, if you want my honest opinion.
And they're going to be the Giga 4070 Ti Ultra Supreme Super Duper.
Yep.
Super de-duper.
Mm-hmm. That's the next revision up.
Zion DeLion is in the house. Well, hello. Button Basher. How's it going? Good to see you. All right, now, as we can see right now, what we're doing is we're hooking up all of the lighting. So, because this is a little bit of a different design in that sense of the fans, because these are the Leon Lee 120s, they don't each have their own independent cable. So how does that change the cable management, Zach?
It makes it a lot easier to have to work or get to work with only 4 cables. But I'm also working with 2 hubs because we have a hub for the liquid cooler and a hub for our fans. So getting that to look pretty is a soft challenge. Okay.
Here we go. All righty.
Stainless steel 304 for this bracket.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Nope. Hello. Wrong button. Anthony over on the Facebook side says, I just bought my second rig from CLX. Absolutely love them both to death. We're so happy to hear that, my dude. So happy to hear that. Okay, backing it up. Wow, the TikTok just flies, and it's... I'm going to constantly scroll back up. So, here's a question about... Because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the FPS. Is the monitor in any way, shape, or form related to how the system produces FPS?
So your monitor can be somewhat of a bottleneck if your hardware isn't great enough for it. So if you go buy the best monitor out there, I don't even know what it is right now, but probably some 8K. But yeah, we'll just say something 4K, 200 plus refresh rate, all that good stuff, and your hardware can't push that. That's when your monitor can be a bottleneck, which is kind of something that we never really had to deal with before. The monitors weren't. They were just a monitor, and it was what it was. So, you know, you don't want to go buy like the best monitor out there and not have the hardware to support it.
And also vice versa. You don't want to have a 60 hertz monitor plugged into a 4090. Yeah, you're not gonna be using the 4090.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I have a 4090 and I'm using a television.
Baby. Yes.
Daniel Martinez asks, how much would an RTX 4090 cost with monitors and all set up? Well, that's going to really depend upon what you're looking for your hardware. Like there's a difference between like motherboards, hard drives, M.2s, your RAM. It all creates a variable range of cash. Paul, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it really does depend. If you're looking at just the price on a 4090 card and buying monitors that go with it, like you've got the rest of your machine up, 4090s are up there. So, you know, you're looking at, you know, if you want like 3 monitors to support a 4090 and go super high end, I mean, you're looking at, I don't even know, probably around $5,000, maybe more, if you're buying the top of the line stuff. So just kind of depends on what you're wanting to use it for, really.
Blaster brings up that a 7800 XT, which runs about $500, he says, would let you play any game at 240, and Fortnite at 350.
Would a 4090 do that? Is that what the question is?
That was McMaster mentioned that the 7800 XT would do that. Even at 1440, 700 XTs are no joke.
Yeah, those are great cards.
These are great. Killer Clutch, we're on the broadcast side, so we don't, that's not even within our wheelhouse. I'm not even in Wichita, so the 60 gig NVIDIA card is future proof for 5 years on Fortnite. Yeah, it is. And I'm like, my 24 gig 3090 is nuts, and I every show I talk about it just because I'm still so jazzed about it. Button Basher's back. Hello. Shasta has a 4090 and you only play solitaire. Liar.
Line sweeper.
Rainbow Six Siege. But I mean, that's one of those things that I love because, again, and it also depends upon the game's, you know, how the game is. What's the word I'm looking for?
Optimized.
Not prioritized, but optimized. There's a good word that I love to forget constantly. Right? How it's optimized. For example, I can play Rainbow Six Siege is optimized for 4K. So I'm getting better frames at 4K than I was at 1080. And I'm on Ultra. But on 1080, I was lucky if I could pull, I was right about 120 to 150. On 4K on Ultra, I'm getting 250, 260 frames, and that's wild. So also take a look at the game that you're playing and how it's optimized or what its optimization is. Now, speaking of things that are optimized, let's talk about doing things with these little power supplies. This power supply is gorgeous. It's a 1,000 watt EVGA Supernova G580 plus gold. Now, this doesn't look like it has any cables there, Zach. What kind of power supply is it?
We've got a modular power supply, making it all of the fun.
So, Paul, you said modular. What different kinds of power supplies are there?
Yeah, so there's 3 different categories, one being modular, the other being semi-modular, and then non-modular. So modular and non-modular are the most common ones. Obviously, this is a modular one. None of the cables are pre-soldered in. We've got them all laid out here, and we've got this nice cable kit to go with it, so it's going to look even better. A non-modular power supply is one where all the cables are soldered into the power supply, and so with that, you just plug in the cables that you need, bundle up the rest, and tuck them in their proper locations. We like building with modular power supplies just because it makes your tie-up easier. There's less cables to worry about inside your system. And for like this, like Zach's plugging in his CPU power cables right now, and the other end isn't even plugged into the power supply. So it makes doing that super easy, just more convenient.
One gaming creed. Yes, Violent Echo. Just, you know, that's definitely safe. Would you recommend overclocking a PC? Asks Panda over on TikTok.
I typically don't overclock my PCs, but once I'm at the end of life on that CPU, that's when I'll start overclocking it. So if you know you're going to upgrade soon and you just want to push a little bit more life and a little bit more power out of them, you know, that's when I would overclock. Now that being said, if you've got a great cooling solution and you want to overclock, go for it. It's, you know, it's cool.
I have mine now. Granted, I have a 13900 KF that is got an insane cooling system on it. The 3090, I do have it. It's an overclock edition, so it's designed to be overclocked. I have my 3090 overclocked slightly, just for that added edge of performance, and because I do so much with streaming and content creation, it's necessary. But the key is not getting it crazy hot. Well. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen my GPU get above 48 degrees Celsius. I think maybe 50 at one point, but averages, again, running 4K ultra games, and it's staying super cold. But I've also got like what, nine intakes and 4 exhaust. We're pumping in a ton of air in there. All right, coming back over here. Yeah, overclock your old stuff for fun. It might go pop.
Yep, that's the fun way to do it, and you can learn while you're doing it. So,
yeah. So, Violent Echo asks, is anybody else excited for the Dune game coming out? Honestly, I'm really hoping they did a great job with it, especially given how amazing the films are. Amon says, do you guys think overclocking is good or not if Cam just playing game? Oh, if you're just playing games? I mean, it depends, dude. It really depends.
Yeah, it depends on, are you getting the frames that you want, the performance you want without having it overclocked? Then you're probably good to just leave it how it is. But if you're not getting the performance you want and you can just boost your components a little bit higher and get there, then, you know, it's good.
Great question about monitors. If you were using a 4090, will it affect the experience while streaming on the viewer's end? I think that depends. From a streamer standpoint, I think it depends. A, what's the resolution and frame rate you're pushing? Also, how many monitors are hooked up to that 4090? And are you just gaming? Are you just streaming? Or are you streaming and gaming from the same system? Because that's a pretty wide variance of options. Just in my opinion.
Yeah, I think gaming and streaming on a 4090, you know, your hardware isn't going to be the issue there. So as long as all your other stuff is okay, you know, that hardware is going to perform fine.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Let me back this up. Triggered Media says, that's funny, I actually have an HP compact case. That's awesome.
Good for a sleeper build.
Oh yeah, my buddy accidentally had an overclock on his 12900K for 3 months and it went pop. Ooh, how hard was that overclock going? Good Lord. Undervolt, it's healthy for your stuff. I wish I knew what that meant. Paul?
It's healthy for your stuff.
Undervolt.
What is undervolting?
Undervolting? Oh, it's like the opposite of overclocking. So where you're intentionally, sending less voltage so that it will not run at the factory speeds. Probably not something I would do. It might make your stuff last a little bit longer because it's not, running like it should. But if you're gonna downclock your CPU, you might as well just save the money and buy a cheaper CPU at those clocks.
Got a great question coming in. I was wondering if I should upgrade my RTX 3060. Oops, hold on. Yeah, there we go. My RTX 3060 to an AMD 7900 XTX.
Yeah, that's a solid. That's a really high-end video card there. So.
That's a big jump right
top
there. That is a
line
big
on
jump.
regular
You're gonna
size.
notice some. Yeah, that's some nice stuff. Clock just runs just as fast. Undervolts, no overclocked derp. Got it. Jumping up here to the red side. The last giveaway was really nice. How often do you guys do PC giveaways? We actually do them each month. We've been doing them each month since the summer of
69.
2022 or 21. No, 22. It was 22. Yeah. Because everyone was still locked inside on 21. Here we go. Just streaming on one 1080p monitor. Oh yeah, you should be fine. You should be golden, dude. Absolutely. Only HP parts. Oh, yeah. That's the one downside of the of HP and the old compact computers is the fact that they are all custom, like drilled, rigged, and designed boards. So there's no standardization. You cannot trade anything out. It is just like a really. Was it that necessary for you guys to tool your own devices? Come on. Jumping back over here to the Twitch side. Let's jump back up here. Yeah, and yeah, to answer your question there, Chasto, TJ Sold probably had a 3D FX card. Listen, when I started in computing, our graphics card was an Etch-a-Sketch. That's basically it. And do you guys think? No. That.
Okay. No.
Oh, Saska, there we go. Hi. I have an i7 5820K.
Nice.
Octa-core with an overclocked it to 4.5 gigahertz and touch wood, still going strong.
Yeah, that's a great. I used to have an X99 build with the 5820K for a long time. I had the EVGA X99 board back when that was a thing. I used that for a long time. Solid processor. That was Intel's like, I don't know if it was like their workstation processor, but they were like the big ones. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, they were hardcore.
Yeah, they were.
They took a lot to screw them up.
A lot of cores,
What are
multi-threading, kind of lower clock speeds.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, overclocking those is great.
So, NM Parsons actually is a really good question. What are considered good temps for 4K gaming?
So it's not uncommon with current hardware to see temps of 80, 90C when you're in a gaming, especially at that 4K. So, you know, I wouldn't be too concerned if you're at that 80, 90 range. Once it starts getting above that, that's when I'd start looking into it. So anything below that is great.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I'd be surprised if my 3090 ever gets above 50.
Yeah.
Like, which is, although now that I'm thinking about it, I really should pay more attention because I'm usually so involved in the game and streaming that I don't always look back to see what it's at. But yeah, who remembers Matrix cards?
Yes. I don't.
I don't either. I'm old.
And Sasko, if you're ever wanting to upgrade that 5820K, what I did to get more life out of my build with that without changing the motherboard is a 5930K. You can probably find one on a third-party site for real cheap. So if you're trying to get more life out of there and you want to upgrade, you could do that.
Matty John over here says my Radeon 6800 only hit 78 C max, but 90 is an acceptable max. Nice, definitely. Apex Everything says you guys are making me feel crazy that I overclocked the i9 in that build, and the build I'm waiting on from you guys. Well, no, I mean, listen, they're not going to overclock anything out of the spec range. Paul, how does that work?
So if you're going to do overclocking, you're doing it through us, then that's the way I would recommend it, as opposed to doing it on your own, because you're still going to be covered by warranty and all that good stuff if we do it. So if stuff goes crazy and it breaks, it's on us there. So going through us for your CPU or GPU overclocking, that's a smart move right there. But yeah, overclocking your high-end processor, I mean, that thing's just going to perform like crazy. So you're not crazy for doing it.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I got mine I think I got mine overclocked, but the overclocking disappeared when we had to reset the operating system. So my CPU is back to normal. My GPU is still good though.
Excuse me.
The day Bell Labs made the first version of Unix.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not even sure that I recognize that reference, but that's okay.
And now 4.
Oh, and and that is also true, Matty John. Anything older than 8th generation is going to lose Windows support, next year? Or this year? I think it's this year, next year? Next year, yeah. All right. And one cool thing to note about this PC, which I love, and you can see it right here from this angle very, very well. Paul, can you walk us through the ports on this? Because there are some that may not show up.
Yeah, so what we've got here, we've got obviously our power button, a couple other buttons for reset, fan stuff, and then we've got our USB port. So we've got 2 3.0s right here, headset and mic port, and a USB Type-C down here, a couple other buttons for fans and stuff. And then what some people don't notice is there's 2 more USB ports down here at the bottom. So we've got a total of 5 USBs on the front, 4 of them being 3.0 and 1 being a Type-C.
Gotcha. Awesome. Not Ed 3K over on the kick side says used to have a Matrix G200 Marvel. They didn't last long in the 3D GPU market. Used to provide a lot of cards for workplace desktops. My G200 Marvel had a video capture back in the analog video days. Yeah, the way things changed when we jumped from analog to digital. Wow. Especially when we moved away from CRTs, like very interesting development.
Look at this big boy coming in.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, Triggered Mini brings up a good question. So, oh my God. That's fantastic. Look at that giant beast of a card. Now, I do want to ask a question because obviously that card can't be that light, can it?
Oh, that is a heavy card right there.
So how do we protect the board?
So we've got that anti-sag bracket that's actually pointing out right there. And what we'll do is that's it we install that before the card goes in. Then we'll install the card, and then all those little holes are adjustment slots. So once the card's in, we can put the arm that actually supports the GPU in, tighten it down, and that's how it's secured. Which
is really important, especially to make sure that you're not, you don't want to bend anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now to the Spaceballs. That would be a funny themed PC.
We've been jammed. Oh, can we use strawberry jam instead of thermal paste?
We can do one.
Oh, that's gonna smell great for about 6 seconds, and then it's gonna get real gross.
Okay, I do.
Winter's in the house. Welcome.
What's up, Winter?
Yeah. Now, as we're getting closer here. Uh-oh. We're getting very close. That looks so clean. I absolutely love it. I really also love the way that the Corsair AIO has that screen that lights up. It really does just kind of, yeah. Got out of work early. What am I thinking about later? You know what? It's a great question. I haven't thought about it. I know we've been banging out Dying Light 2 a lot lately.
Elden Ring. Playthrough.
Possibly Skull and Bones, but I don't know. You should probably check with Scott. Is this the 011 Evo XL? Actually, it's so close. It's actually just the 011 XL. So the Evo XL, ironically, is absurdly bigger. And I didn't think it was going to be that much bigger until I looked at it and realized that, my God, it's massive. That Evo is insane. It's not bad. It's a great case, but oh my gosh, that was big. Mm-hmm. Paul, how much bigger do you think that case was?
I mean, it's probably an inch or two taller than this, an inch or two wider. It's just a little bit smaller than an NV7, so it's a pretty large case.
Yeah. Why not visit Dying Light 1, Winter says? I mean, we can. We've got... Oh, I got them. Got them both. And I think they're still on sale, too. Raspberry. Only one man would dare give them the raspberry. Yes, absolutely. You got an Inwin Dubili. Or Dubili. I'm not sure what that is. At first I thought it was like a reference to the Irwin family, and then realized, nope, that's not an R, it's an N. Let's see here. I have Apex everything over on the red side. Cool. See, that's why I loved you already, and I wouldn't have realized that reinstalling the OS would reset the clock also. So thank you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I had to, so I reinstalled, we got MSI Afterburner back on and overclocked the GPU, but I mean, the CPU is a 13900 KF. It's going to do fine on its own for a while. I'll overclock it when it starts slowing down. All right, we're getting so close to the end. Look at that cable management on the back. That is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely breathtaking. So the other thing that's really, really gorgeous and really, really breathtaking that we want to talk about how you can get your hands on a brand new PC from CLX Gaming. Let's head on over to clxgaming.com. See, at clxgaming.com, we want to make it as easy as possible for all of you to get the PC of your dreams. Also, it's really fun to just go and screw around on there and build the PC of your dreams. From open loop to closed loop, AMD to Intel, NVIDIA to Radeon, we've got everything you could think of. And we make it so that you can't break it. Everything is compatible. And here's why. So, in the event that you choose two things that aren't necessarily compatible, and for this example, we're going to say the motherboard and the memory. So if you choose a DDR5 motherboard, all right, but you've got DDR4 RAM, it's going to tell you, all right, here's the thing. If you want the DDR4 RAM, you have to choose one of these DDR4 motherboards. Or if you want the DDR5 motherboard, you're going to have to choose one of these DDR5 RAMs. Once you solve the conflict, that yellow button turns right back to green, and it keeps going on until you're done. Now, this is not the only thing you get to do here. You can also choose anything from upgrading your thermal paste, overclocking your CPU, your GPU, or both. Again, open loop cooling, closed loop cooling, and we've got tons of other elements in there as well, including the accessories area, which is something I love personally. And that is where you can get everything from really cool windbreakers, just like the one I'm wearing, to headphones, mice, keyboards, chairs, streaming gear. Like you can pick yourself up extra PCIe audio cards, capture cards, beacon mix creates, and beacon mics to actually round out your entire setup with an advanced feature like that. It's great. It's wonderful. In fact, we just gave away a combo to our last month's winner, which was awesome sauce. So that's what we can do. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to use this system to get a PC, because some people are just like, that's a lot of work, dude. So instead, we can go over to our ready-to-ship area, and we have dozens of pre-built machines already tested and ready to go to a new home. And who knows, in some cases, this might be where your base starts, and then you can adjust it from there. So for all of your future PC needs, gaming or otherwise, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you today. Ta-da! There we go. Okie dokie. It is time. Let's see how this is going to go. Once again, this is for Billy in Arkansas. Hello, McG, or McGaming. Mark, welcome in. Okay, let's do it. Pseudo Wolf Thomas says this looks almost like the PC I just ordered. This would be wild if it was. Pseudo Wolf Thomas, are you Billy in Arkansas? If so, it's your PC. All right. Be just a second. Oh, Lord Madison.
Woohoo! All right, here we go.
What?
Ka-ding!
Oh, yeah. Love those uni fans.
Okay, look at that. God, and here's the thing. Here's the thing I love about these 490s, especially ROGs. Look at that end piece. The way the end piece lights up for me is just stellar. Also, those fans, I really dig the angles. They're just the angles and the edges. They're just,
yeah, they look great.
It's fun. It's absolutely great. So let's go right over everything that is inside this brand new PC for Billy in Arkansas. This is a Leon Lee. It is a It's a Leon Lee O11 XL raw build. This has an Intel Core i9-14900K processor mounted on an Asus ROG Strix Z790E Wi-Fi motherboard. It has 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM from Corsair, and of course that Asus ROG Strix GeForce RTX 4080. You've got your operating system mounted on a 1 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro M.2, and of course your CPU is going to be cooled by that Corsair iQ H150i closed loop liquid cooler, plus the 10 Leon Lee fans, and it's all powered with a 1000-watt EVGA Supernova G580 Plus Gold, including specialized sleeved cables in black. Congratulations, Harold. This is your PC. Now, the one thing that we do want to point out that I know I might have touched on earlier, but we're going to put it out again. Paul, where is this PC going, and how's it getting there?
Yeah, so once it's on like this and powered on, it goes to our testing department, and that's where we get into the BIOS, make sure our RAM speed's set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up. Then after that, we actually load the system. So the operating system, if you picked any games on our website, that's where we load that. We don't put any bloatware on our machines, so you only get what you pick. If you just want a fresh install of Windows, that's all you're gonna get, not a bunch of different antivirus softwares that you don't want. And then after that, we're gonna stress test the system for 12 hours. And what we do there is we have a few benchmarking softwares that we use, and what that does is allow us to, something's going to break in here, it's probably going to break in that 12 hours, and that's when we can fix it and make sure you get a stable machine.
Yep. And you could have picked games to load into. Yeah, Cage. Especially depending on, like, if there's special deals with certain games coming with certain pieces of equipment, like if you choose a specific graphics card and they have a deal like, hey, we're going to include this game, or that game, you can get all that taken care of right there. So with that being said, this show is going to take place in 2 parts. In just a few, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he continues building some amazing machines and answering your questions. And Martin, I did see your question. He's going to get to that after we get back from break. This show happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. We broadcast now on everything. So just be here. If you want to keep up on all the latest and greatest of things that are going on with CLX Gaming, including our giveaways, make sure you're checking us out on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You can find our streams on, obviously, Facebook Live, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Everything.
And Kick at CLX Gaming. And then, of course, Twitch is CLX Gaming TV.
I'm getting my MySpace page brought back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear God. That gives me a headache just hearing that word.
So,
yeah.
With that, if you'd like to join an amazing community of like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, check us out. It's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. With that being said, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.